there was a stylist that he was working with, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name off the top of my head, but Ghostemane, coming out of South Florida like me, we had a lot of mutual friends and everything, and she could not deliver the project, and then they tapped on me to take this concept of anti-icon, and I drafted up some sketches and pitched them this idea, and then I traveled to New York and went to museums, went to the Met, went to all these museums to really conceive the concept of what this sculpture and what this representation was for him, and then executed this fucking piece in about 2 weeks. It was really fast and furious, and I didn't know it was going to be used for the cover. I knew it was for a photo shoot for like the album. And Carlos Estrada, who was his creative director, and I had a lot of long conversations about what it meant for anti-icon and the music. And I was very aware of who he was and what he did. I was more like in the Lil Peep world than the Ghostemane world. And here in LA, I had more paths crossing with him. And yeah, getting the opportunity to make that mask, once Eric and I started talking, we found our relationship to be much more connected, and our South Florida upbringing to be much more of a bonding experience. And we found the emotional connection of the music and the art and the expression and the fact of wearing a mask, because I had worn a mask every time I was on stage. And as Alligator Jesus, I wore the alligator mask with Audubon Chirac when we would perform. And I could be myself when I would wear that mask. And Ghostemane, with how emotional his music is, it really becomes this release. And sometimes it's so emotional, he's crying when he's on stage. And I could see that pain in him when he's performing. And I could imagine like the strength that he would feel if he had a mask when he was performing. So I just created a mask that would give him strength and give him power and give him the ability to do what he does. I always thought of it as something that he would wear on stage and take off, you know, but be menacing and not approachable like a porcupine. Like it's got the spikes everywhere and the screws and the nails and everything. Like it was a very abrasive thing. And I love the image that Carlos photographed with the arms just holding it, and then the simplicity of the side profile to really show the structure of that thing. That thing is so beautiful, and it's like one of the highlights of my career for sure. Ghostmane's a big part of like the story of Alligator Jesus, and it means a lot to see him succeed when we both came out of South Florida from the same swamp. We got the CD, we got the cassette, we got the vinyl, both the back and the front. You know, I just got this canvas made. There's the vinyl on the front. I just got to figure out where to hang this thing. But it's fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. And then of course, I mentioned before, I got some of the material that it was made. This was a materials test for the mask. So there was a version that would have been the mask lit on fire. And yeah, we were just doing a material test with it to see what would work. But you know, I keep these little mementos, these little things. And there you still see the profile of his face, of his lips, of his chin. And look at how everything like is so perfectly formed to him. Like this shit, I measured this. Look at how that swoop right there. Yeah. And this projects, as you can see, to the sides. But that swoop right there goes straight to his mouth. And then this fin here, which I was inspired. If you see that without that, and you see how the mask goes like that, it's more like a mask that just covers his face. Yeah. But then I put this, I was inspired by a mask that I saw from a 13th century samurai armor.
Really?
And then this here, Ghost and I should say, I didn't usually wear baseball caps. That to me, it's still new, but Ghost was always wearing baseball caps. And I noticed that, and I made the bill of this part here. That's modeled after his own baseball cap.
Oh, no way. I see that now.
So this was a Ghostemane baseball cap that I recreated. And then I just created the flare and everything else to it. And it looks like a mixture of like some medieval armor from Europe, some Japanese armor, from 13th century and some other shit that I just like threw in there, and then a baseball cap. It's the Otto. Virgil Abloh had shown me the hat that he uses regularly. It's like the Otto, like trucker hat, whatever. And actually, do I have it here? I have it somewhere nearby, but it's like it's a specific style number, like the 35-283 or whatever the fuck it is. And like that was the hat that Ghostemane wore and Virgil wore, and then I started wearing it, and that was my usual everyday hat. Yeah.